Just first off, your thoughts on first half versus second half, and then also being able to get Vela into a game finally, and kind of the mindset in that, and what you felt like you got from him, and how ready he is to contribute as we go forward.
Yeah, I think anytime there's a score line, it changes kind of the momentum. It changes the way we play. We adapt to the score line, which I think makes us difficult to play against. So I thought the pressure we had, we built, and we created some good chances in the first half, and we're able to capitalize on one good counterattack. We didn't particularly defend the counterattacks up the middle very well, and created a few of them for Vancouver with sloppy clearances and some silly passing in the middle, which we obviously talked about prior to the game. And that was the only danger from them tonight. And I thought we did a decent job up until the end, until the goal of managing that in the second half was still being dangerous. And our second goal was really well played. I thought it was fun to watch exactly how we kind of draw it up on the tactical board. Almost had a third in the same fashion with Matty off the crossbar, his first crossbar. So yeah, I was quite happy with the performance. I think the guys did enough to win the first game of a 3-game series, and nothing more. I think getting Carlos in was great. It was our intent to do it against San Jose, but it didn't work out. It was great. I think it's a great moment. It's moments like that is why we go and fill stadiums and enjoy professional sports. There's always a personal side and emotional side to this. And Carlos has been an amazing figure for the club, amazing player. And he's also very well liked in the locker room, as you can see, around the guys. So it's a great moment for him and for everyone.
Is he in position to be ready to help this team going forward, to be a regular contributor?
That's things we'll manage and monitor in training, and just kind of day to day to see how much fitness we can give him the next couple of weeks.
Steve, you guys have managed to contain Ryan Gauld. I think make him less effective than he's been against other teams, especially look at what he did in Portland. Why have you guys been able to do that so effectively?
I think it's a combination. It's not just one player marking him or us focusing just on him. When we stay compact and have compactness in our lines and not get too stretched, their best moments came when we got too stretched, sort of defending in that no man's land, we like to call it. And their direct play to Brian White and them scooping second balls up underneath with their numerical advantage in the middle is what makes them the most dangerous, and really how they score a lot of their goals. When you sprinkle in a couple set pieces too, and Ryan Gauld just is phenomenal at those moments. We didn't give away too many of those moments, and I think that's key. And also being physical at times, that helps. It's part of this game.
And Kike playing that wingback position, how much of an edge does it give you along that right side of the field? And what are his responsibilities defensively? The same as anybody in that spot? Or are you guys expecting him to play a little bit more?
No. Yes, we expect him to play more offensively, and he has the same responsibilities defensively. And he's an incredible athlete, great mentality, and a hard worker too, but also dangerous going forward. So the idea is the more you can attack on that side of the field, the less you have to defend.
Congratulations on the win, Steve. You've been extremely successful in the playoffs, as you know. And I know what you feel about this format. You don't want to talk about that. But I'm just curious, going into the second game, it started 0-0. It's not 2-1. Do you actually approach that differently? You were speaking about momentum. Do you approach it differently? Do you really start over again, or do you carry something through from this game? Thanks.
Well, a couple ways you can look at it. I think it can be 1-0 in some way. But if you lose in penalties, if the game ends 0-0, then that's the same thing. So you can say it's 1-0, Vancouver has to come a little bit, and you can try to catch them on the counter, and then it's 2-0. Then it becomes very difficult for them. But unfortunately, after ties, it goes straight to penalties, and that's the same thing as a 5-0 win. So we'll just have to wait and see. But I think for us, the best approach is always to try to win each game, and we always approach it from half to half. So we'll set up a plan for the first half in Vancouver to try to be dangerous, to try to get on the scoreboard.
We'll do Andy and then Philly, and then we'll go with you.
Steve, to that point, obviously
the aggregate scores don't matter, but the way the game ends, you guys concede a goal. Do you take anything away from that? Is there, I don't know, maybe something you saw that you didn't like in those moments, or you kind of just throw it
Yeah.
away with the result?
Yeah,
and then
there's
keep
2
moving?
moments we talked about at halftime. Losing the ball in the middle of the park, trying to progress the ball up the middle and more vertical as opposed to lateral, makes them very dangerous, and they kind of feed off of those moments. And that's what kind of started that little rolling counterattack, as I'll call it. And then across and overload in the box, and kind of third runs as well in the box. That is what they're really good at in finishing those plays. So yeah, we will absolutely use that clip for the next game.
Coach, after the match, very subdued out on the pitch. Obviously, nothing like last week, but even after a win, it just seemed like it was more of a business trip than maybe a victory out there. I'm wondering if that was the plan all along. Like, okay, we know this is just one of what might be a 3-match series. What was the emotion like right after the win there? It seemed a little more subdued than normal.
Yeah, I mean, I'm not really in control of the emotions in the stadium, but I just think there's more work to be done. And I think the way the game kind of went around, I think, we took the tempo out a little bit. The game was pretty much done and dusted, and then you can see the goal in the end. But there wasn't a whole lot going on. I think both teams kind of had accepted the result of the last 15 minutes, and that's what you kind of saw. But yeah, I just think it really has to do with the scenario that there's a couple more games, maybe only one for us, but certainly Vancouver would need 2 more games. Yeah, we would have loved to hit a grand slam in the 10th inning, but it's not the World Series yet for us.
Last question, go ahead.
Steve, talking about that, this was a special weekend in LA. What is it like for the sports fan? All the teams won as well here in LA, just being part of this sports winning culture in the city.
Yeah, awesome for the fans. Not good for those who work in sports because I can't go to the games. But yeah, it's an incredible weekend. Everything is going on. Sports fans, it's Christmas has come early, and hopefully we don't see another game in LA. Maybe you can pull it out in 4, but or in 5, but we'll see. But yeah, if dude, anybody has an extra ticket, I'd like to go on Friday.